So in this part, I'm going to show you the basic structure. Let's create a new class game. So in this class, we'll have the complete game, basically. The main game loop, which will be a public function called play. The basic idea is that we will continue to loop the game until it is game over. Hence we need a bool game over, which is initially set to false. So while not game over, the game will continue to loop, basically. And whenever the while loop has finished, it will leave the play function and just return. Of course, we don't need to write return. And then we just return to the main function, and in the main function we just create an instance of the game class. In the main function, game, new game. And then we just call game play. It needs to be the same variable, of course. There we go. And well, that's pretty much it, I think. Let's move the system line. We need to set the screen before we do anything else. So after the gameplay function has ended, we have reached a state of game over. So here we can do whatever we need to do with that. Later on we will talk about that. Okay, back to the game class. So what will happen in the while loop here? Of course, a number of things. First, we need to plot the ship, the enemies, beams whenever the ship is firing or the enemies are shooting back at you, and we need to plot the UFO, of course. We need to check if the level is completed. If so, we need to just draw level completed on the screen, maybe add a little bonus level score, and then just initialize the next level. Still in the while loop though. We have not left the while loop. Okay, then we need to check if the enemies, if an enemy is destroyed, and if it is, it should be deleted and the score should add a number of points. We need to check if no enemies are left. If so, then go to the next level. Yes. Oh, I just wrote that. Okay, anyway. We need to check if the UFO is destroyed, and if it is, we need to add point. The UFO will give more score than the other enemies. If it's hit, we need to delete it. We need to check if an enemy has destroyed the ship. If it has, I will lose a life, of course. And we need to decrease the number of lives presented on screen, of course. And then finally, of course, check if that was my last life. The game should end. And that will be done by setting the game over boolean to true. Okay, so what's next? We need to handle explosions. The ship may explode, the enemies may explode, and the UFO. And we will create a small animation whenever that happens. Then we need to update the score, of course, and then a short delay. So after the delay, we read the keys from the user. If we hit left or right or space to fire, and whenever that is done, we move the ship and the other objects. It is of great importance that we do the read keys by the end or right before we move the ship and then replot them again. As you can see, the while function starts with the plot and ends with the read key and move shape. So there should be no other actions taken between the read, move and plot to get the best graphics, basically. Or we don't want it to be any blinking or anything like that. The graphic needs to run smooth. And of course, we need to handle barrier stuff. Delete parts if they're hit by the ship or enemy, basically. I will later on also add extra life functionality. And that's pretty much the basic structure. Let's get started with the ship